it is almost certain that at this year's E3 we will get an announcement of the long-rumoured Bioshock the Collection, which rounds up the original Bioshock, Bioshock 2 and Bioshock Infinite games, all to be released as one package onto the Xbox One, PS4 and PC. Because I talk about Bioshock so much, people often ask me what is so appealing about these games. My answer will always be the same: play the original Bioshock and you will know why very quickly. Once you play that game, you will almost certainly want to play Bioshock 2, which was a good game no matter what others say, and Bioshock Infinite. However, I can be more specific with my reasoning, so I present to you my top 5 reasons to love the original Bioshock. Please tell me why you love the Bioshock games in the comments below. Last, I want to mention that this video is relatively spoiler free. I have not touched on any major plot points or story elements in the original Bioshock. I simply describe certain aspects of the game. But if that itself will be too spoilery for you, then back away now. So with all that out of the way, let's get into it. Rapture. What a fucking amazing setting. Rapture is a huge underwater city established by Andrew Ryan, one of the main characters in the game. The city is comprised of huge buildings and skyscrapers, which are linked by tunnels and walkways, and feature a distinctive 1940s art style and deco design, which is then nicely complemented by the 1940s and 50s Americana music of the game. Geothermal power was used to power Rapture, sourced from submarine volcanoes, and the predominant sources of food were either crops grown or the surrounding sea life. Rapture was, for all intents and purposes, a fully fledged city, featuring shops, laboratories, medical facilities, entertainment venues, gardens, manufacturing plants, and many other services. Andrew Ryan created this city to be a utopia for its inhabitants, a way to escape from the constraints and oppressions of government and religion. The world's best and brightest, including scientists, artists, philosophers, and many others, would then flock to Rapture to live as free-minded and free-thinking individuals, wherein the fields of science and technology could progress through paths that were perhaps considered too controversial or too immoral above ground, and individuals could achieve for their own personal gain. However, as you quickly find out in the game, this intended utopia became a dystopia, which was due to a few reasons, including the lack of government and structure, but more importantly because of the discovery of Adam. To give you a crude explanation, Adam are cells sourced from sea slugs that alter the genetic makeup of humans in order to provide them superhuman powers and abilities, such as shooting electricity from one's hand. The use of Adam slowly turned Rapture citizens into psychotic and mentally unstable splices. When you as the player are exploring Rapture, most of the population is now dead, crazed out splicers roam the halls, and large parts of the city are flooded and now in disrepair. But honestly, even this description cannot do the beauty of Rapture justice. It really is a phenomenal video game setting that should be experienced by everyone on their own. Plasmids are one of the most unique and distinctive features of the Bioshock games. They effectively are serums processed from the aforementioned Adam that can be injected directly into oneself to provide superpowers. To give you some examples, Electro Bolt enables you to send a jolt of electricity to electrocute your opponent or to open a few locked doors in Rapture. Incinerate sets the opponent on fire, dealing damage over time. It also ignites flammable objects such as oil. Telekinesis pulls the targeted object towards the user and allows them to throw it forward, dealing physical damage to anything that it hits. And lastly, Winter Blast, which temporarily freezes the target, allowing them to be shattered using another weapon. Each plasmid in the game can then be upgraded to multiple levels, which improve the effect of the plasmid, not just in terms of damage, but also in other ways. For example, upgrading Electro Bolt will result in longer stun times, and upgrading Telekinesis will enable you to throw more things, including heavier objects and even some enemies. Plasmids were hands down the reason why Bioshock's gameplay was so interesting and fun to me. The ability to utilize these different types of superpowers on top of the guns and other weapons in the game really made for unique and enjoyable battles. The use of plasmids can also become quite strategic. For example, do you have a massive Big Daddy charging towards you? Well then use Electro Bolt to temporarily stop it in its tracks, and then swap to Incinerate to burn the fucker. Are there a bunch of splicers on your ass? Well then knock them all away with Sonic Boom. I honestly just had so many fun moments experimenting with different plasmids and also different plasmid combos, and I'm sure that many people that have played Bioshock will say the exact same thing. This is something that honestly cannot truly be explained, but I'm going to try my best. Bioshock's atmosphere is untouchable. You have literally crashed randomly into the ocean and submerged to discover this underwater city and dystopia. Everything is clearly fucking wrong with this place. Every single room you enter seems to be flooding. Splicers are roaming the halls crazed out of their mind for Adam and will attack you as soon as they see you without question. There are these big monstrous enemies known as Big Daddies, which are literally the most terrifying thing you've ever seen, especially when you piss them off and they charge at you. And there are little girls that are almost demonic that wander around Rapture sticking needles into dead people to drain Adam out of them. And worst of all, there seems to be no escape. Throughout the game, you're literally following the voice of one person who you have never met, and nor do you have any idea who he is, but you're literally putting all of your faith and trust into this one guy to try and find a way out of this place. The enemies and characters are psychotic, the rooms and hallways are dark and eerie, there are random noises and screams popping up constantly. Everything is just dark, scary and creepy. But that, folks, is the wondrous thing about Bioshock. It is this very atmosphere that defines the game for many people. So please, do yourself a favor and experience it yourself. You will not be disappointed. Bioshock truly has an amazing cast of characters. On top of your own character Jack, who has a mysterious and clouded past that's quickly alluded to at the beginning of the game, there is a suite of incredibly intriguing and fascinating characters. They range from the aforementioned Andrew Ryan, a business tycoon, the creator of Rapture, and main antagonist in the game, to Tenenbaum, the geneticist who discovered Adam and developed it into products such as Plasmids for commercial sale. She is also the creator of the Little Sisters that harvest Adam. And then there is Atlas, the character that essentially acts as your guardian angel as you try to explore and survive the city of Rapture. And of course, there are many other characters in the game that are just so interesting, and that's what's so amazing about Bioshock. Almost every character present or even alluded to in the game has a remarkable story. Take Dr. Steinman, a surgeon and the very first boss in the game, who became such a perfectionist with his work that it eventually drove him mad, to the stage where he started to mutilate his patients in truly terrifying and horrific ways, leading to their death in most instances. It is examples of characters like Steinman that really bring Bioshock into its element, and if you play the game you will see exactly what I mean. This is something that I will definitely not spoil for you, but I will say a few minor things. The story in Bioshock is phenomenal. The way in which it is told and developed is just incredible. Through many different storytelling methods, including environmental storytelling, the presence of audio diaries voiced by key figures in Rapture, both past and present, and voices speaking through your radio, you slowly learn about the history of Rapture, the current state of the city, important NPCs, and also the background of your own character. Everything just progresses so beautifully, and you are drawn in and intrigued at every single turn. I cannot speak highly enough of Bioshock's story. It is undoubtedly one of the greatest stories told in the history of video games, and I do not say that lightly. It is arguably because of Bioshock's story that I have such high expectations of games nowadays with regards to story. It gave me goosebumps at the time and still does to this day. Yes, there may be a lot of nostalgia underpinning my statements here, but I can't help it. Bioshock's story made the game for me, and arguably has made it my favourite video game of all time, just next to Fallout 3. And that, ladies and gentlemen, are my top 5 reasons to love the original Bioshock. But I have definitely not covered everything. There are so many other aspects of the game that make it one of the greatest of all time, but I'll let you discover those for yourself. If you have played Bioshock and want to share your love for the series, please place a comment below. I am so excited for Bioshock the Collection, and hopefully it is just the precursor to a brand new Bioshock game in the near future. So until next time, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer, please take care of yourself, and as always, keep fighting the good fight.